Governor Jeff Landry's request to deploy National Guard troops in several Louisiana cities is drawing mixed reaction. Some leaders are concerned the National Guard isn't trained to handle civilian policing, while others believe it would cut down on crime. I spoke with East Baton Rouge Mayor President Sid Edwards for his take on the governor's plan. Well, joining me now is East Baton Rouge Mayor President Sid Edwards. Thank you so much for joining us, Mayor.
It's my honor to be here.
So we're talking about the National Guard troops. The Governor Landry made the formal request from the federal government to deploy them to 3 cities, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Shreveport. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, right off the gate, I'm for it. I'm for them coming, but I want to explain myself. You know, we watch TV, we see what's happening in D.C. and other places they're deployed and all that. Baton Rouge is not D.C. You know, we're unique to ourselves, our own culture, our own issues, our own problems. So when I say I'm for it, we're 150 officers short in BRPD. We need help, but I have a vision of what I want it to look like. It's just I don't have enough intel yet to know, can it look like I want it to look? And what I mean by that is I just want a presence. You know, they don't have arresting powers. That's for our local officers to do. I want the Guard to help me with my parades and with Mardi Gras and Christmas and maybe football games, all the way to helping with blight and some of the trash, maybe the homeless initiative. So that's what I envision when I'm coming. That's the Guard that I want to come to Baton Rouge.
Let's talk more about the events. Do you think that could impact the local economy, seeing the troops out there?
You know, there's a worry about that, and I understand that. You know, that people like, on the negative side, like having a military presence around. What does that say? What does it mean? You know, I just don't think culturally in Baton Rouge it would hurt. I really don't.
Why do you think the governor chose Baton Rouge as one of the 3 cities? Do you think there could be political motivation behind that?
I don't. I mean, certainly people are going to, you know, think that way. This is the capital city of Louisiana. I'll give an example. I'm part of a Harvard Bloomberg class that is out of New York, and I partnered with the mayor of Wichita, Kansas, Lily Wu. And her concern was violent crime in her city. So I asked Mayor Wu, I said, Mayor, what is your murder rate in 24? And she said 16. I said, 16? We had 16 in January. So it's all relative. So here again, I can't speak for the governor, but for me, it's boots on the ground and a presence.
You've spoken to the police chief about it and the sheriff. How do you see them working with the troops if they were to come?
Well, I think a big thing, here's okay, when I talk about worries as well. So when you take the National Guard, there's a chance you could have a guy that they send down here from, say, Albuquerque that is a pharmacist in Albuquerque, but he's a National Guard that doesn't know our town. I think there's got to be some intel and some initial conversations about who we are and what we do and how to handle yourself, you know, in our town.
Well, if National Guard troops are sent to a crime scene, could you see them making situations worse because they're not per se trained in that?
It could. You know, that there's a risk with that. It could. But what I would be counting on is working with Chief Morris, our BRPD, and our sheriffs to have some, it doesn't take the place. Our police officers are trained extensively. Civil rights, not de-escalating situations, and the Guard isn't necessarily trained for that. So I would do, if they're coming here, it would almost be like Cliff Notes, a cram course. There's no guarantee, but the expectation of me to them is to work with our BRPD and our sheriff department to make sure those situations don't happen.
What do you say to those that say this is a waste of resources, that crime is down? There's been some, speculation that they're only picking up trash in certain cities. What would you say to those people?
I can tell you, I don't know, the people that are saying that, a waste of resources and all that, okay? The reason the governor did the ask federally is for the federal government to pick up that deal. So it's not going to come at the dime of the city, parish, or the state, okay? Now, the governor has the right to call out the National Guard whenever, and if he does, then we would pick up that bill. You know, the state of Louisiana would have it. So that's his technique by asking the president to bring them, but you pick up the check, right? But at the same time, a waste of resources. I've been in the hospital since I've been in office, tending to a mother whose 5-year-old autistic child was caught in gunfire. There's a 7-year-old murdered in Scotlandville. A young professional driving through doing volunteer work, plumbing work in our city, and he's caught in the crossfire. Can more boots on the ground, can a presence, can it alleviate some of that? I don't know, but I'm willing to take a chance if it saves just one life.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my honor.
All right, Mayor Sid Edwards.